And we're live. Welcome to our weekly installment of Facebook Live. I'm Kurt. This is Chris coming from Mike Staff Productions.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, I think we got a lot going on today, man.
We do. It's going to be an event.
We're going to educate you. We'll hopefully make you laugh a little bit. And when we were preparing for this week's Facebook Live, we thought about some key pivotal parts of the wedding day and the reception. And one that I think that we can all agree that everybody looks forward to is the toasts. And
absolutely.
And since I've been a DJ for many years and you've been a photographer for many years,
more than a couple.
Between the both of us, we have seen over 1.7 million wedding toasts. All right,
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So we're kind of experts on this. So what we're going to do today is break down some of the best practices, some things that are good to do in a toast, some things to avoid, and we're going to make it easy to follow. And our fabulous production team will put our tips up, afterwards. And if you need any help, myself or Chris will be your toast consultants, because that's the type of customer service we provide here at Mike Staff Productions. We made two simple lists, man. We made the to-dos and the to-don'ts. And here's where I'm thinking. Being the DJ and the MC for many years, I got to be firsthand. I got to talk to the maid of honor, the best man, prep them, even if it's the father of the bride. And I got to have a great view. I'd stand right there and watch them all. And joking aside, I love that part of the reception. It's a really cool piece. And even when we survey a lot of our customers after their video, they say, besides, seeing the ceremony and the trailer we put together, the speeches and the toasts are one of their favorite parts. Yeah. So that's what led us to do this. So we broke down the to-dos and the to-don'ts. So I'm going to speak on it just from just observing toast. Being that Chris is responsible for capturing all of these great moments with his camera, he's also going to give some pointers on some do's and don'ts to help the photographers out, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, let's get to the to-dos. Number one, guys, we always want to, most important with the toast, they got to hear you. So hold the microphone closely, all right?
So close enough?
Nope. Bring it in.
Like this?
Nope. Up.
Like this?
No, you're not an antenna. You are going to speak into that thing, all right?
But it's like Statue of Liberty.
And it's the easiest thing. And I tell you guys before, I know that the maid of honor, the best man, or the father, or the bride is nervous. So we always say to them, hey, hold it like you're about to eat an ice cream cone, right?
Well,
perfect.
Here.
Right there. Perfect, all right? So
tell a big guy to eat ice cream cone. I got it.
And then I would say, as long as you can hear you, meaning you can hear your toast from our monitors and speakers in the back, everybody else can hear you. It's so easy to probably just get focused on the delivery and all the words and everything that you start moving that thing out here, over there. So don't do it, okay?
You're good.
And we're back. Sometimes technical difficulties pop up on a live video. So
we've definitely seen microphones dance around the room though, like this when they're talking.
Absolutely. So, anyways, the hold the microphone properly. Number two, I know you have a lot to say. I know you're talking about a couple that is obviously very close to you, or your children, but keep it brief, you guys, and thoughtful, because we have all, I bet you watching this have been to a wedding. We've all been there, where the videographers already have to change tape halfway through it because it's just taking too long. So just be brief and be thoughtful. Here's another part that I've noticed when I would prep a couple for the toast and tell them what we're going to do, is I noticed that they would get nervous. And what I would coach them to do was, hey, if you're nervous, don't feel like you have to speak to the entire crowd and the entire audience. If you're anxious or nervous, focus on the bride and groom. Say what's on your heart, say what's on your mind, and just deliver it to them.
Absolutely.
Smile. It looks great in the videos, looks great in the photos. I know there's some emotional stuff and you guys can get choked up or tore up or whatever, and that's totally fair, that's normal. But I would suggest that you smile. Next, practice, man. This is no time to wing something. And Chris, is it so obvious when someone just wings it?
It gets weird really fast, or it gets like, I need to check my notes on my phone and see, and I don't know where my notes are, or I think I meant to do this last night, or maybe I did it this morning. Yeah, it looks very weird and awkward.
If you have been asked to speak at a couple's wedding, don't overestimate or underestimate what a huge deal it is. So please practice. Even if you're a procrastinator and wait to the day before to write the toast, take a few minutes to go say it in the mirror. Practice, even have a friend or a significant other sit with you and practice it out, because it's super touching. It's going to go a long way, and not to mention we're catching it with our videography and with photography, so be polished up. So those would be my to-dos. Chris, from your perspective, what can you add to that for couples giving a toast?
Yeah, so the big thing about the do's when it comes to photo, when it comes to video, is like you said, having the microphone in the right spot. Because when people start doing this like drift away, the audio later sounds terrible.
Right.
Because you hear it, it's like, yeah, and I'm really happy and I'm excited to see Kurt and Brandon because they just can't. And everything we talk, and it gets really weird, right? They kind of fade in and out. And from a video, it sounds horrible. The other thing is when people are standing up and they're way down at the end of the table. Well, it's okay if you're 4 people down for your seating position for dinner at the table, right? But stand up, walk over to the bride and groom, and stand next to them.
Great.
Right?
Get in the frame, right?
Get in the frame. I want to see you. Don't do this. Don't talk to them.
Good point.
You want to stand up. If they're seated, behind them and talk behind them and give them the information, right? Go back and forth. And you want to talk with them and to them, but you don't want your back to 200 people, right?
Totally, man. And
it gets really weird.
And it will look great with the photo. I mean, even looking back at my wedding, we have great photos of my sister-in-law, my brother toasting us, and fortunately they're in the right position. But good point. Before we move to the don'ts, is there anything else that is a to-do?
The other big to-do is know when you're going to go. I see people that are not paying attention, even though the DJ has taken all this time to explain when they're going to go, when the toast is going to be, and they seem like a deer in the headlights. And they're like, and they seem all like freaked out because all of a sudden they didn't realize it was their turn, right?
It can be nerve-wracking.
It can be, right. So the big thing is to get in frame, don't put your back to everyone, make sure you're keeping the microphone up, and make sure you're focused on what your task is. Don't be joking with the rest of people at the table.
Those are the to-dos, all right?
Yep.
So you follow those, you're halfway there.
Yep.
Part 2, we got to talk about the don'ts, all right? And, you know, I'm going to throw the guys under the bus a little bit here because usually the ladies do a great job toasting the bride. But, I mean, maybe there's a few, but the guys take
Is it
note
fair
here.
to say that when we see the ladies, though, it's obvious they put more
they
time
did the to-dos.
and intention. They did the to-dos, right? They're very intentional about it, you know?
So I'm talking to all you future maid, matron of honors, best man, father of the bride. Follow our to-don'ts, all right? So, here's what we do. We typically introduce a couple. We introduce the best man or the maid of honor, and we introduce him as, and now we'll have a toast by the best man. Please welcome Chris Zeman. I give Chris the microphone, right?
Hi, my name is Chris Zeman. Oh,
you got to start with the number one thing people say. Yeah. So here's the thing. I think it's we've seen it at a wedding where all of us have maybe sat at a wedding and we notice that the person that gets the microphone will always, after they're introduced, say, "For those of you that don't know me, my name is." I know I'm splitting hairs here, but it's just redundant. I would just say rather open up with, "Hi, my name's Kurt. It's an honor to be the best man, and I'm excited to talk about Chris and Jen today."
Yeah, it sounds so much more about the couple then.
It does, you know. Number 2, I would say keep it. Keep it PG-13ish tops. I mean, if you know here's the thing. If you're funny, you probably know you're funny. If nobody ever really tells you you're ever funny, it's probably not the time to be funny, if that makes sense.
I'd say don't become a comic that day.
It's not your big break. So my point is, it's a toast. It's not a roast. Avoid, just the, it's as guys, and I'm sure ladies too, we love to bust our friends and rip on our friends. It's a way of showing love. Save it for the bachelorette party.
Yeah, it's safer there.
You're talking to a room full of people where you know the bride and groom, you might know their parents, but there's probably 80% of the people there you don't know very well. So, look at that toast as a public service announcement for all those people in that room to celebrate the couple and maybe learn something cool about them.
Yep.
So and then I'd say avoid cliches. Again, since we've seen 7.9 million weddings,
at least, probably this season.
Yeah, since we've been to that many, I think that it's normal for people to look for help, so they'll Google best man toast, matron of honor toast, and then they don't click past page 1.
No, and they unfortunately go to all the awkward viral ones that are on page 1. And there's a lot of garbage on page 1.
Oh, they're bad. It's here's the thing. Here's what I mean by cliches. If you're Google searching a best man toast and it has anything to do with asking everybody, all the women in the room to come bring a key and hand it into the groom's apartment, next, move on. Terrible.
Bad idea.
If you're searching one where it says, you suggest that the couple puts his hand down, then her hand down, then his hand down, and then reminds them that this will be the last time you have the upper hand. Move
that
on.
funny.
It's not that
It's not
good.
that funny.
We've seen
It's
it
not
all
funny.
before.
Yeah.
I would say, this is your opportunity to like really have an opportunity to look back at your friendship and look back at the why, the reason you're standing there as their best man. It doesn't. If it's funny, it's funny. If it doesn't have to be. I mean, just speak from the heart and don't go to Google page 1. I mean, at least go to page 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's probably some stuff on page 4.
And I
that
think
you're missing.
also it can be, don't go to Google sometimes. Like, ask other friends that have done it.
Yeah.
You know, ask those that have had a wedding or have been to a wedding or have stood up in a wedding before. What worked, what didn't work.
Yeah, call on your network.
Right.
It's a good thing to do.
Right.
Kind of like how we said in the to-dos, it's also, I'm going to stress it in the to-don'ts. Don't wing it. This is a big deal, and this is going to be on your video forever.
Yeah.
So pressure's on, best man, maid of honor, father of the bride. Don't wing it. Come up with something thoughtful, brief, and concise. And in closing, a don't that I'm going to stress as a don't is don't do a mic drop. Like, what are people thinking?
You mean this won't bounce off the ground well?
You mean someone owns that and had to pay for it and
So
use
this
it for
costs-
the rest of the night for
this
like the
costs
bridal
money?
dances? It does. So I think, I don't know.
Really?
It's got to be like some movies and some YouTube and stuff like that. Of
Yeah,
people
like-
dropping the mic.
No.
Don't drop the MC or the DJ's mic. That's a way to give us a heart attack. And then if it's like broken, it's just we need that for the rest of the night. So
That's like the equivalent of someone dropping my camera.
avoid
in
the
the
mic.
middle of the wedding.
Avoid the mic drop. Don't drop the photographer's camera.
No.
Don't drop the DJ's mic because the couple needs that DJ to make the important announcements and MC the rest of the event, right?
Yeah.
So you tell me, Chris, is there anything that we didn't cover on the do nots from a photographer's perspective?
Yeah. One of the do nots is don't jump around. Like, stay in one spot. Find your place, put your feet there, talk to the people, don't jump around. I see people all the time that are not only like doing the mixing bowl with the microphone, but they're literally walking back and forth because they're nervous. Well, here's the thing. As a photographer and videographer, we are going to set everything up. We're going to frame it. We're going to get the lights right. So the bride and groom are going to look perfect. The closer you are to them, the better you look. When you start going 5 feet this way or you decide this is the time to walk around the table,
Yeah.
we don't know what to do with you at that point because you're no longer lit well, and I can't run around and move everything because I'm going to make your toast sound bad because it's going to have all this gear moving around, right?
We got to step back at that point. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's why we're making this video, man. It's because we want you guys to have the best videos, best photos, and we want everybody to hear the toast, right? And a couple other that came to my head just last minute. They're small, but they're important. Don't talk about anybody being arrested. Those don't go over too well.
No.
Past relationships. That's usually
Awkward.
not a good one. And
I think the one-on-one stories.
the one-on-one stories are good, and anything that involves a high amount of alcohol that made the night remarkable, you can cut those out too. You know what I mean? Again, they're great for the bachelor party and they're great for bribery, but don't bring them up at the reception. But I hope that was easy for you guys to follow, and we say this because we care. I think that we can both agree,
Yeah.
while we're talking about it, that the speeches and the toast are one of the coolest parts of a wedding.
It is, and it's something that is talked about, and it's something that's talked about before the wedding, it's talked about after the wedding. I mean, I still remember my brother's speech. I remember my best friend's speech at my wedding. And it was so meaningful because it's also, as a groom, it's a moment that you get this, like, raw truth from a friend that is about why
That's
they
cool.
care about you, and it's really enjoyable.
It is cool, So I'd like to thank our viewers for popping in and checking out this week's. It was a change. I know we're usually profiling venues or talking about our great photography work and videography work. Nothing's changed. We still have
No.
great DJs.
And
We
the
still
big
have great
thing is-
photographers and videographers.
Yeah, we want to be able to help you guys with every part of the wedding. That's the whole reason we're doing these Facebook Lives. That's what we tell you. If there's a topic you want to hear about, let us know. This happened to come up because Lauren actually had a speech last weekend at a
That she
wedding
nailed.
that she knocked it right out of the park from what I heard. Her words were a little more direct than that. But as you hear the laughter. But that's exciting, right? That's the fun part. And we said, oh my God, we have seen so many toasts that have gone great. And unfortunately, Kurt and I have seen so many that have not gone so
Yeah,
great.
or they just could have been better. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's a big deal. I want you guys to nail it. And, I want the bride and groom to feel, that feeling you get when, your closest people say something awesome to you.
Yeah. And remember, check our blog. You're going to see stuff in the blog. You're going to see stuff on our Instagram. You'll see stuff in the posts here, us talking about tips for good, tips for bad, the do's and the don'ts, all about it. Lauren and Natalie are going to have those posted up so you guys can copy those. You can go through them. You can save them for later. You can share them with friends, have a toast coming up.
And if you have any like great epic toast stories, feel free to like put them in the comments because I would love to
I
read
would
them.
love to read them.
You know, hey, we're super professional, right? We're always on top, and we're always, you know, just making sure everything just goes according to plan. But we like to joke around. man. Like,
Absolutely.
I love to hear your stories. So here's what we're gonna do. Next week, we're gonna go back to profiling great venues in Metro Detroit. You spoke, we listened. We're gonna talk about Pine Knob Mansion and Carriage House.
Love that place.
Remarkable properties in lovely Clarkston, Michigan. So we're going to talk about the Pine Knob properties, and I think it's only you know fitting, right,
Yep.
for us to toast.
Let's do it.
So, you know, here's what we're going to do. So, we would like to propose a toast to all of you, our Facebook viewers. We wish you the absolute best with your wedding plans. Make sure your best man, matron of honor, or father
Are
watch this
prepared.
video. Yep.
Are practiced,
Yes.
are professional,
They stand in the right place so the pictures look great.
and they're ready.
We wish you the best of wedding planning and a great wedding, and we hope your toasts are awesome.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.